One day the house would be wrapped in yellow tape. I had no idea he was killing people. I didn't know it was to that level. I just figured a fight gone bad or something like that. But I had no idea it was. I knew he was into this, or I'd heard. I mean, you don't know, you just hear. I heard about the satanic stuff, and I mean, he was obviously into some very dark things. It was, and there was no secret about that. And he was, a threat to. He would yell at people, and if people, especially if kids walked by and said something, that was not a good thing. And so I just was very hyper vigilant, kept my eyes and ears open, kept good relationship with them, didn't want them on our bad side. They never did anything to hurt us. They were very kind to us, and we were very kind to them. And I just made sure I was very aware of what was going on, and that my children were nowhere near, nor any of their friends ever. I was always here and watching, taking care of things.
The vibe, you could just see it, you could feel it.
I just was in my room and I heard a couple of shots.
For 5 years, below the ground in Clemens, North Carolina, were tremors in waiting. Rumors of what lay there sent rumblings through the community. But on October 5th, 2014, when the earth behind this Nob Hill drive home was moved,
watch the steps here.
What was found exploded across the country.
The horrors prosecutors say happened inside
the face of evil, one littered with homemade tattoos, lines, dots, and patterns.
You're just seeing one part of this investigation.
The name behind them, Pazuzu Algarad, and the stories of what drove him to murder caught the attention of Christians, atheists, people of all kinds.
And you could tell when his demons needed something from him.
The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office announced they'd found the skeletal remains of 2 people in Algarad's backyard. He and a woman named Amber Burch were each charged with killing, then helping the other bury them.
You see 27 cop cars outside of your front door. It's kind of unnerving.
Deputies, the State Bureau of Investigation, forensic experts flooded the property.
We are letting the scene and the information and evidence that we collect sort of dictate as to what degree of expertise that we need.
With blacked out windows and a fenced-in yard, what was posted on the outside of the home provided clues of what was inside. A letter warding off law enforcement, an upside-down cross, a sticker reading, "Evil will triumph."
All the rumors that I had heard that I didn't believe before, I absolutely believe them now.
A week later, names were put to the bodies.
I knew immediately it was Josh.
Stacy Carter last saw her former fiancé and the father of her child, Joshua Wetzler, in July of 2009.
Just such relief. I mean, tears of joy.
When Josh and the other victim, Tommy Dean Welch, were identified, for Stacy, it was as though he'd been released from the hell Pazuzu had created for himself.
I just felt like he was out of there. He was free.
Exactly a month after their bodies were found, that domain was there for the world to see. Video from Forsyth County Housing and Community Development showed a vile scene. Trashed to the point they couldn't walk into certain rooms. Satanic markings, a warning scribbled on a bathroom door saying, "For every word you read is another second off your life." And holes, where for years Josh and Tommy's bodies deteriorated as the ground above strengthened.
This is actually where one was buried.
Just feet outside the basement, where Algarad's mother, Cynthia James, says Pazuzu had stashed Josh's body.
And I heard this pop, 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 pop.
Fed by drugs and alcohol, James says Pazuzu had returned home on a morning in July.
I come out of my room and I said, "What's going on?"
There stood her son, holding a rifle.
And Josh is laying on the floor and I'm like, my God, I don't remember I'm going crazy. And he just stood there.
She asked him to come sit in the den before returning to her bedroom, where she considered her options and chose to do nothing.
So then I came out, I said, "I'm gonna go to work."
By the time she came back, Pazuzu and some friends had moved Josh's body.
He was in the basement.
Once again, closing the door to her bedroom behind her.
Trying to let them do their thing.
As she did that October.
Amber came to the entry of the hall there.
When she heard gunshots once more.
And she says, "Go back to your room." And I'm like, okay.
It was Burch shooting and killing Tommy Dean Welch.
I guess I was scared of her.
The pinnacle, the transformation from the boy she birthed and named John Alexander Lawson into Pazuzu Algarad. But when did that conversion begin?
Well, bad choice.
Many of you remember that 2 days after
Okay. Well, this one will fail real quick.
Just on this part.
Oh yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely unfit for human habitat. No drainage. Touch this?
I'll roll it for you.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's get those rooms back there.
Like over here.
Look at that.
Step.
Jesus Christ.
Sir, did you buy shit? Yeah, yeah. Right here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Is that thing dead?
No, it's alive. I think there's mold coming through the roof. Watch your step, there's a lot of broken glass.
Okay.
Actually, you haven't hit the worst part yet.
Mm. Don't believe any of my hoarding cases will match with this one.
And this is the cleanest room in the house.
Huh?
This is the cleanest room in the house. Get that room down there.
That one, yeah, I got it good. Boy, this guy had a bad case of whatever they got.
Fourth step from the bottom is kind of loose, so
Okay.
be careful on it. That one.
All right.
Good.
Dog crap, ain't it? Yeah. Okay, I actually need to do outside and some air.
Not gonna get a whole lot better right there. Watch the step here. This is actually where one was buried.
God almighty.
In the pool, just behind you.
All right, let me shoot this fascia board right here.
It's Watch your step there.
Okay.
That fish is still swimming.
So there's one was buried there.
One was here, one was up there.
One was up there.
Yep. One was, it's right in front of the picnic table.
Not the big hole.
Yeah, not the hill up there, down here.
Oh, right here.
Where those bricks are.
Yeah, where you see the little bricks.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yep, you got it.
Damn, that cat jumped over. I scared the shit out of me.
They got me too early. I feel bad.
Is that stench just coming from the house? That smell?
Some of it's rain. The pool, the house, and some of it's dirt that was excreted here. When they were working in the house, and somehow it rained very nasty over.
I'm gonna get the side and around in the front. I'll be right back. Let me get that pool one more time, sir. I mean, it's well past condemning. Okay. I guess I got all I need.
Is that a little GoPro?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a HD.
These things are wonderful. You need to get you one of these.
You like it?
Yeah, it's
Pazuzu Algarad. What is it? That me? It's just error. What does it mean? Say it to me. Can you hear me? Yes. You can answer the question, please. It's a Lord's name. What does Eli stand for? Oh, that's error for God. You're under the influence of any drugs right now? I'm on medication. You're pleading guilty to accessory after the fact to involuntary manslaughter, and the state's going to dismiss another felony for obstructing justice. Is that correct? Yes.
This is the Pazuzu Algarad you know.
How did we not know? That's what people, how did the neighbors not smell anything?
The so-called devil worshiper, addict, murderer who left the bodies of 2 men to rot in his backyard in Clemens.
He would eat the heart of it and then burn the flesh of the rabbit.
This is John Alexander Lawson. He and Pazuzu are different, but the same, because they're the same person.
Little Johnny was not right, and everybody knew it.
John Alexander Lawson was born in San Francisco, California in December of 1978. Raised primarily by his mother, Cynthia, who took pictures of her baby in the bathtub, smiling with his straight blonde hair and piercing blue eyes, dressed up like a cowboy, hat and all.
Well, he was in the Cub Scouts and I was the den leader.
Cynthia was raised in Forsyth County. Having graduated from Parkland High School, the pair moved back to North Carolina when John was 2. For years, they were a normal family. He was a normal boy, with his blue Royals jersey and bat on his knee.
And then he got into football.
In pads for the Pofftown Packers, golden locks flowing in the wind.
And he just kind of, no more sports.
Cynthia says she first noticed a change in her son when she remarried. The pair and his new stepfather, Johnny, moved into the home on Nob Hill Drive in Clemens. But John and Johnny didn't always get along, and John became a recluse.
I told Johnny that I wanted to, just maybe I can work with him.
The couple separated, and neighbors say that's when they started seeing John outside again.
And we had so much fun. I mean, he always made me laugh.
Where he was rarely seen was at school.
2008, when it was really obvious that he had changed.
He'd repeated 2nd grade and 9th when he dropped out.
Yeah, and that's basically because he didn't go to school. It wasn't because he failed, he just didn't go to school.
His appearance shifted. The long locks were shaved off. His dress became more gothic.
He was wanting to hang out with people that I didn't want him to hang out with.
She brought him to what was then the Reynolds Health Center on Highland Avenue, but he wasn't there long.
I don't think that I loved him too much, and then, I said, okay, whatever you want to do.
Then he started searching for ways to change how he saw the world, with a forensic evaluation showing he started regularly consuming alcohol at age 13.
There was this one guy that was doing meth and got John into doing that, and I don't know if I just turned a blind eye or...
Soon, he further changed the way the world saw him. He legally changed his name from John Lawson to Pazuzu Algarad. Pazuzu, a demon featured in The Exorcist. Cynthia says he didn't worship the devil, instead, a dragon, as she put it, named Tiamat. Homemade tattoos on his face developed from this, to this, to this. He filed his teeth to points.
But that was one of the first ones he did, and you can just see the anger coming out.
In February of 2006, at the age of 27, Pazuzu went to Daymark Recovery Services. Records show he was diagnosed with agoraphobia, an anxiety disorder centered around fearing or avoiding places that might cause you to feel panic. He left after 2 months, then returned again in October of 2008. Within the next year is when Cynthia says she was in the home as Pazuzu and his spiritual wife, Amber Burch, killed Joshua Wetzler and Tommy Dean Welch.
I went back to my bedroom. I thought, what am I going to do? Okay. Well, gosh, in the state he's in, he might shoot me. I don't think he would. He's had plenty of opportunities to kill me if he wanted to.
Get back to our nice, quiet, very wonderful neighborhood. And actually, we've been dealing with this for a very long time, much longer than 6 months, but we are all ready for this to be over.
Joshua Wetzler's body wasn't freed from the ground behind Pazuzu Algarad's home until October 5th, 2014.
It was big news. People were gathered there for days upon days.
But deputies got their first tip that Pazuzu had killed him a mere 2 weeks after it happened.
At first it was, where's Dad, And I said, I don't know.
In August of 2009, a woman named Tarina Billings contacted the sheriff's office saying her father, Alan, had seen a body in the basement of Pazuzu's home. that cat litter and chlorine were used to conceal the odor, and that Allen had helped bury body parts in the backyard.
So we went to him, Allen at the time. He denied every bit of it.
He did tell them that Pazuzu had told him he'd shot and killed someone 3 days prior, but didn't provide any first-hand knowledge. So the investigator, a detective Foster, went to see Pazuzu face to face.
At that point, nobody had been reported missing.
Pazuzu let Foster inside. Deputies say they walked around, talked with Pazuzu, questioned him, and told him they had information that he shot and killed someone.
It didn't happen exactly just knock on the door and say, "Did you kill someone?"
They walked around the home, the basement, the backyard.
There was supposedly something about chlorine. Well, yes, there was chlorine, but there's a swimming pool in the back, so there would have been chlorine. There were something about cat litter that had come up. Okay, they had 15 or so cats.
But nothing substantial surfaced.
If you can find one item, and then you can hold the scene for a period of time.
Over the next 6 months or so, a few more anonymous tips came in.
We would get bits and pieces, and then people's stories would change.
In February of 2010, Foster met with Stacy Carter, the mother of Josh's child, who'd heard from a friend that Pazuzu had murdered Josh.
I didn't know at that time that we weren't the first people that had reported that the police had already been told about it.
Stacy reported Josh missing to the Davie County Sheriff's Office and later learned that Winston-Salem police had found Josh's car abandoned just days after she'd last seen him.
Had I known that his car had been found abandoned, we would have immediately started looking for him.
His keys were in the ignition, the window rolled down, and it hadn't been reported stolen. On February 23rd, Foster was granted the first warrant to search Pazuzu's home.
There were either 4 or 5 different bloodhounds.
The SBI, Davie County Sheriff, and Triad bloodhounds all assisted.
They indicated some, we would do some digging, and then that one would come out, then the next one and the next one.
They tried recruiting the help of NC State and the North Carolina Archaeological Research Center, but the doctor heading up the program said his crew wasn't available for another 2 weeks. He'd also mentioned that cadaver dogs may or may not be able to detect a body buried with the given circumstances. The sheriff's office moved forward anyway and found nothing.
Something we would do differently, we would probably wait. But again, given the information that we had at the time and the circumstances, the decision was made to proceed.
That decision to try to stop Pazuzu before he could potentially kill again, though regrettable, may have been justified. Less than 5 months later, a 30-year-old Joseph Emmerich Chandler was found shot dead by the Yadkin River. Pazuzu, then 31, was charged with accessory after the fact of involuntary manslaughter, with Yadkin County deputies claiming Pazuzu had assisted Nicholas Rizzi, who was charged with involuntary manslaughter in connection, in his attempt to escape arrest.
They took him down to the river, shot him in the back of the head. They claimed it was an accident.
Now Chandler's...
Tell me a little bit about that previous experience. What was it like living across the street before any of this got started?
Hypervigilance, very hypervigilant. I raised teenage boys here, so and all their friends. So I was just very hypervigilant. I always had to know where they were, what they were doing, and they got the huge lecture that they were never to get within any distance of the house whatsoever. And
It was 2 days before he died.
It was October 26th, 2015. From Central Prison in Raleigh, North Carolina, Pazuzu Algarad sent his mother Cynthia this letter.
He always said Mom, of course, and Shakamuku, which means what's up in Arabic. And he says, I'm so bored. Got a letter from you and one from Amber. I despise the human race. People are ugly and pointless creatures. I sit back and watch them and they anger me. I should get a medal for murdering these stupid Maybe when I'm dead, the gods of chaos shall grant me the power. I mean, he was so hurt and angry, you know, and so how's things your way when you and Kim come in to see me again? Well, I'm hungry and tired, so I'll write you again here soon. I love you.
2 days later, he was dead, ruled a suicide, his cause of death, blood loss from a deep wound to a major blood vessel in his left arm. The autopsy revealing tattoos that had largely gone unseen to the public, some reading Pazuzu, Lucifer, Satan, Villain, 666, Joker, live fast and die. Today, Pazuzu's forensic evaluation from his accessory after-the-fact conviction is providing insight into how his mind functioned.
They're very sensational, these cases, but they're very rare.
Psychiatrist Dr. Phil Levine says Pazuzu's schizotypal personality disorder would have led him to experience unusual perceptual experiences, odd thinking or speech, to be suspicious, paranoid.
I can't connect up from a schizotypal personality structure to murders.
Levine says mental illness is a separate problem from people who become violent.
This case is much different, I think. It's a real outlier.
Adding he wouldn't have responded well to medications.
He had alcohol problems for a long time, and then he started getting into methamphetamines, which is not likely to help him, but to make his anxiety issues worse.
Do you think there are other people like him out there?
There are. They're not common.
I feel like I failed him. I feel like I failed him. I mean, I would give him the world.
Today, Pazuzu's remains are in Cynthia's living room.
I think that I loved him too much, and then, you know, I said, okay, whatever you want to do.
Less than an hour away,
Her daddy was a stallion named Rolling Stone.
Stacy Carter, lit by a golden hue, dragonflies representing transformation circling overhead,
It's just recent they've appeared, and I don't know why.
reflects on the day she learned Pazuzu had killed himself.
I didn't really feel much, honestly. I wasn't surprised. I never knew the guy.
The day she met Pazuzu's mother.
I don't think she's evil. I think things got out of hand. She lost control, and then she was terrorized. She was powerless.
The day she met the father of her child.
And we just started talking, and it was just like, I mean, just magnetic.
And on the back of a peaceful creature,
My life's work has become about horses and teaching people, giving people that opportunity.
she hopes people will learn
I would like to see prevention.
from what led to her now 15-year-old son having to grow up without a father at the hands of a man who fancied himself a mythical beast.
You take somebody like Pazuzu and you can blow him off and you can say, you know what, he's a loser. You know, he's a loser, who cares? But if we don't help and do something in those situations, it affects everybody.
Michael Hennessy, Fox 8 News.
Amber Burch and Crystal Matt.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Talitha Vickers. Right now, an update on a story we brought you first as breaking news. The investigation continues after a pair of bodies were found buried in a backyard of a Clemens home. 2 people have since been arrested. Our Sabrina Santucci is live at the scene where residents remain very concerned about this gruesome find. Sabrina.
Good afternoon, Talitha. It's still an active scene here in this quiet Clemens neighborhood. And as you can see, the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office and SBI is still searching the property. The skeletal remains of 2 individuals were found buried in shallow graves in the backyard at 2749 Nob Hill Drive. The skeletal remains have been taken to Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center and have yet to be identified. 2 people have since been arrested. 35-year-old Pazuzu Algarad and 24-year-old Amber Burch have been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of accessory after the fact to murder. Both are being held at Forsyth County Detention Center with no bond. Neighbors say the backyard of the home where both Algarad and Burch lived looked deserted, and the entire situation is extremely disturbing.
There's children who walk to the school bus here every day, and to know that type of sick behavior was very immense. It's really disturbing.
Now, as that man mentioned, children walk to the bus stop in this area every day. We are about 2 miles from West Forsyth High School. Reporting in Clement, Sabrina Santucci, WXII 12 News.